so peaceful beside you,
Welcome to this special episode.
Yes, welcome. Pontus and I are extremely experimental. We are totally out of our depth, but we thought that for everyone to meet each other and see faces and fraternize would be a very good way of breaking the ice, and it's something that we haven't done before. And I think it's very in keeping with the angel spirit. And we have a very rich topic as well to discuss. We planned that we thought 5 days would be enough time between the release of the album for us to digest it all. And we will have some very interesting opinions, and we have no idea what the next hour will bring us. We will just ramble on and see where it takes us. Run, River, run.
Also, I've been looking at reactions. Nina Schofield's reaction is great. She has some very good insights. So if you haven't seen that one, please do. And also, Chris has some first-hand review of a few of the songs. And have you, Chris, listened to them all now?
This morning, listened to 2 of the 4 that I had set aside for reactions. And Home got the tears flowing. And I've listened to all but 2 songs.
Let's try, everyone, and see what comes up. What's your favorite song? Chris S. has Home, and Big Angie fan. Play no game. Okay. And Sven also Home, and Andy Home. Robert Byron. I love them all. Sorry, I don't know that song. Yeah, I know it's tough. We have Kiss Me One Last Time is one of the favorites, but Home is clearly in the top runner here. And Steve Ackerman says No One Can Hear My Heart. That's also one of my favorites.
hurt me more than words could say, but I stayed and made a home. I was bid to love, not leave, even when I felt alone. You used the warmth that I gave you like it was yours to spend for free. But every scar you gave my heart was a deeper strength in me. And I forgave you every time, not 'cause I was weak but brave inside. You took my love and crossed the line, but I still stood by your side.
I was thrown a knuckleball. I was not expecting to hear what I heard. I was very surprised, and I was totally out of my depth when I heard the album. It took me completely by surprise, not only because all the songs appeared to be from the 50s or 60s, but because it wasn't quite jazz. Probably she went more into crooning mode than anything else. And I think we all know Angelina is a one-off. She's an original. She's unique. But I was not expecting to hear what I heard. And because she caught me by surprise, I really did not know how to react. Now, I've listened to the album twice, and as Len has said, and others have said, the more you listen to it, the more you like it. And I'm more and more tuning into it, and I'm appreciating it more and more. It was so unusual and so unexpected. It's sort of like if you have a bottle of wine, the longer you keep it on the shelf, the better it is. And this is how I find the album. I'm sure the third and the fourth and the fifth time, it's not so much that I will hear new things or I will hear some quality in her voice, but the album will grow on me. And I was not expecting to be surprised in the way that I was.
Yeah, I agree. Adrian is first off.
I agree with Alan. I have also been very surprised by this album. The tone she uses and how she has done every song. It was not at all how I had expected the album to be. It's taken some time, listening time.
And we have Chris S. next.
I was a little disappointed initially because I expected more of a variety in the songs as far as styles, types. I've probably listened to it 4 times now. And now I appreciate that it seems to be a single style body of work. And like Alan said, the more I listen to it, the more I like it. I saw Shakespeare and he said that one sounded a little bit more of an 80s style. I don't think it's as distinct for me, but I'm wondering if because of our ages, that 80s style is what we grew up with more. So it touches a little bit more the styles of the other songs, which do seem more 40s, 50s, early 60s style.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. We have Bob Palmer next up.
I think everybody was surprised by it, but it went from surprise from the style of music to total admiration and the sophistication of her music composition and harmonic sophistication. These are the most sophisticated songs that I've seen her associated with perhaps the exception of What Is Life. The melodies are sublime throughout. They're subtle, and when I try to sit down and work out the chord changes, these are not 4 chords in the truth type songs. They're very sophisticated in terms of the type of harmonic development that each song has. So when you listen very carefully, you do hear a lot of variety in there. Although I think as a common theme, she's right in the lane of the Great American Songbook. That's Angelina Cole Porter, a star we're hearing. It was interesting. After I finished playing the album, Amazon would come up and recommend its nearest equivalent. And every time I would give the album a listen, they would always come back with a Nat King Cole song from the early 60s with lots of violins. So I think the algorithm even recognizes the lane that she's been working in. And I've just found it absolutely beautiful the more I listen to it.
Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far.
Let's go over to Chris, a big Angie fan.
Well, there's so much to say, but I wanted to talk about the song Play No Game, because most of these songs are talking about love or lost love. But I think this one is one that you could say is another song about the music industry. It has some wonderful lyrics, especially towards the end here. I have, "You broke me soft without a word, yet in that break a song occurred. So let me thank you for the ache. You made me real, and now I know where I belong."
You broke me soft without a word, yet in that break a song occurred. So let me thank you for the ache. You made me real, and now I know where I belong.
It's like I was trying to do music the way the music industry said I should do it, but I thank you for trying to force me down that path, because then I discovered it brought me back to the music that I really like. And I think this album is like a love letter to her roots, to the kind of music that really moves her. And I think that's one reason why the vocals are so emotional. That's one thing I'm really struck by. It's so drenched with emotion.
Thank you, Chris. Steve Ackerman is up next.
We've heard for a few weeks now that the this is a collaboration between Angelina and Mary, and we don't know how much of this is Mary's lyrics or how much of this is Angelina's and Mary's lyrics. But it really does, to me, feel like poetry put to music as opposed to writing a song. I listened today for the first time to all 12 songs while reading the lyrics and also thinking about the traditional song structure of verse, chorus, verse, chorus. And there's maybe one or two songs at the most that have a conventional chorus. And I think it would be a real challenge to create a great sounding song if you're starting with a poem. But Angelina has done that in all of them. I'm just amazed.
Yeah. She had a little bit of a taste of it when she did Song for A. Although she didn't compose that one, she just sang it. But still, it's a challenge, and we know she can do anything she pretty much wants to do.
Keith Seraphy. Yeah, I was extremely surprised as well when I heard it. I have to listen to my body, and every other song I hear from Angelina, I get goosebumps, I cry, and I didn't do that on any of these songs. It just left me flat. And I've listened to the whole album 4 times, and I like it better, but I just like her work, like the jazzy version of Bad Valentine or My Funny Valentine, or the way she did If I Were a Boy. Now, singing in that style, but yet her own type song. That was what I was expecting, and that was what I was hoping for, and that's what always gets me. And this is beautifully done, beautifully sung, but it just doesn't do anything for me, really. So I feel really bad about that, but that's the way I feel. I like it a little more after I've listened to it 4 times, but it still isn't anywhere near in the ballpark. I liked all the unreleased songs, the Thank You, one of my favorites, those that you really feel the emotion and just makes you want to cry. But these sounded like what's been mentioned, poetry put to music, which I guess for some people is good, but I was looking for more variety, belting, her Amy Winehouse voice in one song, or just a variety of things because I think that's how she stands out above all other singers in the world, is she can sing virtually anything. And these all sounded very superficially similar after I've listened to it several times. Obviously, they're different, but they're all in sort of same style.
If she wrote the songs herself, do you think it would have evoked more in you? Do you think
Yes.
it would reach you better? Objectively, I think Mary's poetry is good, but maybe Angelina has to write from her heart rather than from Mary's heart.
A number of songs that she's unreleased. I love all those much more than anything that's on this album. Angelina did the melody and Mary the lyrics, and that they both produced it.
I've always wondered in the past, every original song with Angelina, if it's 50-50 with Mary, I'm sure Mary has always given an editorial eye to what Angelina would write because they're so close and because Mary has a way with words. It's just a matter of the proportion of how much it's Mary and how much it's Angelina. But I think if you go back at the last 10 years, there always has been some level of collaboration between the two.
Yeah, they both said Angelina did lyrics as well. So apparently she did have some input in it.
Let me just recommend something for you, Keith. Listen to Nina Schofield's
I have listened
analysis,
to it.
and that singer reacts.
Yeah, I watched both of those.
For me, that brought another level of understanding how brilliant this album really is. Because I agree with people that say that it takes a couple of listens. And I think that's actually a sign of a really good song or a good artist. I remember one of my favorite artists before I discovered Angelina was Sting. And when he came out with one album, the first listen I did, it was like, okay, that's Sting, but it's not his best. And then it grew on me, and it became my top favorite album of his.
That definitely happened to me with some Angelina songs.
Yeah.
What I was hoping for was something that was going to be a breakout album. And I think this is going to be popular with a bunch of old guys like us, but I don't think it's going to be a breakout album for this. I would think this kind of style would be great for maybe a third album, a breakout one, showing all different varieties of things she can do vocally and with original songs, and then maybe a follow-up album similarly. And then it would be time for this one where she's already got a strong worldwide audience, and then they'll follow her wherever she wants to go on different projects. But as a breakout album, I don't think it's going to happen. But I do have a friend that I've been trying to turn him on to Angelina, and he's thought she's good, but she's no Karen Carpenter, which is his favorite. And I played this album for him, and I was telling him that I was a little let down, and he thinks, oh, this is fantastic. This is the best I've ever heard. And he couldn't wait to go home and tell his wife and play it.
I think it's about letting go of your preconceived notion, what you thought the album was going to be, because I understand totally, and several have said similar things. This is maybe not her breakout album after all. I want to just quote somebody that said something very beautiful. They put it in one of the Facebook groups. Angelina is giving us something that will never glitter with commercial shine, but will forever glow softly in the hearts of those who understand. I think that's a pretty good comment of the state of things. I think Len is up next.
First, I want to say something about Keith. I follow Keith when he's on a lot of the comments on the reaction videos, and he's a very strong supporter of Angelina. I have exactly the opposite opinion of the album, Keith, and it's not a disrespect for your opinion at all. I think it's her best album ever. I don't think she cares about any commercial advantage from this at all. I think she wants to be herself. I think she's created her own style of jazz, which is an amalgamation of several different types of styles of singing. I think she's totally inspired. I believe she wrote most of the music. I think Mary is more of an editorial, but this sounds so much like Angelina. And what Robert Palmer said is exactly what I said. I can't believe somebody who is 19 years old has this much ability to understand the English language and create this illustrative music like she has from the poetry. It's just unbelievable. And I think it's the best. I've listened to it probably 25 times. And every time I listen to it, it gets better and better. And right now I'm strongly focused on Summer Wind. Summer Wind is unbelievable when you think about the meaning and significance of what she's trying to say there. And I think the one song that I've been trying to figure out lately has been The Dream of the Dream. Sounds like it's underwater. I think that is a song that she wrote for us. I just feel like this is her finest album ever, finest singing ever, best writing ever, best ever. I don't think she cares about the commercial process right now. I think she's herself, and she's one person, she's one style. It's an Angelina style, not nobody else's style. No more Amy Winehouse, no more Adele, nobody. Angelina.
My hands are shaking from the cold. This room is full, yet I'm alone. No one can hear my heart when it breaks without a sound. No one can feel this fire burning me from the inside out. I gave it all. I lost it slow. Now all I hold is letting go.
I thought it was Nice to hear her voice in a slightly different way than we're used to. Alan said crooner. That's a good way to describe it. Next one here, Robert Byron.
I was actually shocked when I first started listening to it. I probably listened to it about a dozen times and get into the lyrics of the song. I was just overwhelmed with the beauty of her voice. And then after that, I decided to do up the lyrics. And when I was doing the lyrics, because I'm doing it very slowly, line by line, that's when I started getting very emotional and just getting deep into her thinking of the song. Actually, I could really hear Mary's poetry in the lyrics there, but also Angelina, part of hers in there as well. I don't have a favorite because I don't think I've really concentrated on any particular song. I think they're all amazing. When I was listening to it, I thought of the words a torch song. They all have that torch song feel to them that refers to any songs with love or the loss of love or any pain in love. It's a certain style of song that I think she just fits right into quite well. Mostly torch songs would be from the 20s and 30s, and also a lot of the greats like Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Etta James. They all did torch songs, but yeah, I was really overwhelmed with all of them. Everybody has different tastes, but you know, I think all the angels will appreciate what she's doing here. One of the songs had a bit of a country flair to it. I hear the steel guitar in there, and so I think it might hit different genres too.
One of the things that I felt when I was doing my reactions was things kind of reminded me of different artists. So in one song I heard Elvis. And in one song, I heard Barry Manilow, of all people. And also, somebody said in the chat here, Roy Orbison. Thank you, Robert. And thank you for your time with the lyrics. Okay, we'll go to Alan Epstein now.
Like everybody, I was pretty confused also. I was expecting to hear Shadows or Memory Woman, some of the other songs mixed in, but when it came out, first, they all did sound very similar, but the more you listen to it, the more you started to appreciate it. The one point that no one's mentioned is that I think the album itself shows that Angelina really feels her life experiences and her emotions as well as anybody I've ever seen, and she's able to incorporate that into her craft. What saddened me a little bit is that most of the songs are very negative in that they're all about relationships, people leaving. I was surprised that at 19, she is starting to mature and feel the weight of what maturity means with respect to emotional impact. And I think it's showing that this is a very important time in her life because she is getting free of the constraints of the music industry that has put on her and the pressure of having to break out, have hooks in her songs. She didn't do any of that. And as Steve said, the actual structure of the songs, most of them were not conventional, and I was surprised by that. So first I was a little taken aback like everyone else. I wasn't feeling the goosebumps and crying like I usually do with most of her songs. But in general, I did very, very much appreciate her growth and maturity that she is showing in her music.
Chris, you want to say something about the lyrics?
Well, I do want to say something about lyrics because I think they are absolutely wonderful. Somebody on Facebook put out all of the lyrics for the songs, and Kiss Me One Last Time was the first song that I cried to, and that is faster than most of the other songs. That's one thing that reminded me of Bob Dylan in it. It goes along with this rush of different images. I don't know how much of that is Mary and how much of it is Angelina Jordan, but it's just such powerful lyrics. I think that is one of the great strengths of this album, is just how good the lyrics are, and that's primarily due to Mary. Kiss me only once, and let this be our final dance. Be wrapped in light and bless your dreams as I move on past circumstance.
Kiss me, my only one, and let this be our final dance. Be wrapped in light and bless your dreams as I move on past circumstance. Though fate may call me far from home, in your heart I still belong. So kiss me one last time, my love, before the sky forgets the dawn.
That's very Dylan-esque, I think, and beautiful. Another thing about the lyrics is we're talking about it being mainly Mary, and I agree, but there's some songs here where you have these colloquialisms that I think it's Angelina, like Since You Walked Away, she says, I ain't perfect, I never was, but darling, I loved you just because. I think that's a very modern sounding lyric that to me, that sounds to me like it was written by Angelina. So the two main strengths of the album for me is just this emotion drenched vocals and these great lyrics. So it's the two of them. The great lyrics are mainly Mary, and of course the vocals are entirely Angelina. And yes, at first I did get that sense of them having a sameness to them, but the more you listen, the more you see all of these differences. If you don't know about classical music and you hear a string quartet from Beethoven, it sounds very, very monotonous and there's no changes going on. But if you have any appreciation of it and you listen to it closely, there's all kinds of things going on. And so that's the feeling I get from this, is that, yes, you need to keep on listening and more is revealed.
You said the vocals are only Angelina, but the very last song at the very end, there is a harmonization with different layers.
Come back or tell me we're through. Come back or tell me we're through.
Let's continue. We have James in the building.
So the album is basically exactly what I expected, because of what had been said behind the scenes with Mary saying that she wrote it. And we did get some teasers, and the other songs that we had heard, like Shadows and the such, they didn't really seem to be jazz songs. So I totally didn't expect them to be there, and they weren't. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I've been busy making videos. So I released one earlier, which shows her just singing one of the songs, which is really nice because we don't have her singing any of them, not even on YouTube. But the album, exactly what I expected. The style of music's not my cup of tea, but I listen to them probably 50 times each as I'm making the video, and they tend to grow on you. My thought of the whole album is it's more a project of the heart between her and Mary, and all else ceases to matter as far as what they're concerned. I think that is the overriding, the love between the two of them. They wanted to create something together before it's too late. So I think this is that project.
We don't know a lot about their breakup with Republic Records, but what little comes out, it seems to be not very nice.
That is all coming from one source, and the lyrics were primarily from that same source. Let's just say sadness is the stronger emotion than happiness. It's more easily remembered, so that may tend to come out more.
Is this perhaps a way for Mary to help Angelina get out of that focus on the past and do something with the current, her time right now? Just throw yourself into this project instead and just forget about all those stupid people. Okay, let's move on to Jorge.
I was worried about this album at first, because I was worried about them maybe having her backup band in the album. And I'm not a big fan of that band. But anyway, this, to me, it was like a work with her grandmother that had to get done as soon as possible. It's very personal between the two of them. And with Mary's health, maybe have something to do with the fact that they wanted to do something like this. And it's what they really want to do, what they really feel like, not what the record company wants them to play. It was music from the heart. At first, I didn't particularly care for it. Everything was the same at first, like a lot of people have said. And then I listened to it again, and I went on a trip. This was like one big song to me. It was like a story of a relationship. How you got young love, early love, with all the lyrics were a young person's idealized love and how you sacrifice for the other person. And then it sounded like things weren't going so good, and her partner was leaving her or not being as much as she needed. But she stuck around because that's what she do. And she was in love with him and she couldn't leave. And another part was she was trying to build him up where it didn't matter if he didn't get everything in the world for her. It was just being with him and it was important. And all that is like very young, idealized love. That's why it's a torch song. A torch song is a sentimental love song, typically one in which the singer laments an unrequited lost love. And there was definitely a country Western influence with the slide guitar. I really enjoyed it. And when I was watching James' video this morning, I got all these chills and I was almost into tears and she started singing. I didn't get that earlier, but I was in my kitchen drinking a cup of coffee, watching a little 27-inch TV set, and I started getting these feelings, emotions. And I go, whoa, that's Angelina. And that's what she does about 90% of her songs. I think it's like one long trip. It's like a story in different versions of a relationship from beginning to end. And then the last song and the tears and the relationship is over. And so is my speech.
Thank you very much for that. Well said. Okay, we have one last hand raised, and that's Andy Schnell. Go ahead, Andy.
I really appreciate what George just said. I agree almost 100%. I haven't really delved into the lyrics, and I look forward to making use of all the great work that Robert Byron has done in transcribing the lyrics. But I've listened to the album 8 times, and I just get lost. It just transports me like Angelina often does. It's always a full body experience. It just is truly remarkable. But I did gain a sense of all these songs about relationships, and the relationships really seem to fit from Mary's perspective far more than from Angelina's perspective. There might be a couple songs that maybe the perspective is from Angelina and not Mary, but I don't know how many people realize that Mary's mother passed away in recent years, and she passed when Mary was going through all her health issues. And I think that plays a big part into this album. And the other point is that Angelina, at her concerts, has told us, I've been through a lot. It hasn't been an easy road. This has been a very emotional journey. And I really think that Angelina and Mary together, this is something they needed to do and put down as an album. And once they got this out of their system, then I think Angelina really can move forward. But I think this had to be done. And I don't see that this is an album that Republic would have enjoyed releasing. So it's all for the best that she left to become an independent artist again. And I am looking forward to reading the lyrics that Robert has transcribed and really understand these songs that much better. But for now, I just get immersed in it and find myself just drifting off somewhere.
Thank you for that.
I have an observation which maybe puts a little different spin on it all. We've all been exposed to Angelina for the last 3 years or 5 years or 8 years, whatever. And it's hard to remember back to our initial reaction to when we first heard her. We might have heard Bohemian Rhapsody first, or we might have heard I Put a Spell on You. And the initial reaction was not only, what did I just hear? But how do I catch up and make sense of all of that? This is so far beyond me or beyond my understanding or outside of my normal comfort zone of what I'm used to in life. If she can do that with an individual song, maybe that is what we're experiencing with this album. Maybe the whole album is something which is so far outside of our sphere that it takes us time to adjust to it, just as it did with the initial moment of when we first heard Bohemian Rhapsody and I Put a Spell on You. So it's not so much the shortcoming of Angelina, it's just she's so far advanced that we ordinary mortals need time to catch up to her.
Thank you. Should we round this meeting up?
Well, thank you everyone for coming out. And it's very unusual how similar all our views are. I think universally, apart from James, I think we've all been surprised by the album and we all have different favorites. And in terms of the album itself, that is not a work in progress, but our reaction to it is a work in progress. And it's almost like if you have a 2-year-old child and then you don't see it for 6 or 12 months, and then you come back to it. So every time we listen to it, it is like another developmental leap in our understanding of what we've just seen. Yeah. So with that note, I think we all should listen to the album another 10 or 20 times and keep going through our growth experience.
Thank you. I think it's good that if we record our byes. So let's say our byes now. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye. Bye.